Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be telling some stories, actually. A bit different from our usual stuff.
Yeah, no complex papers this time. We're looking at something you sent us a transcript, sharing some really quite terrifying personal Halloween experiences.
Exactly. Halloween, it's supposed to be, spooky fun, costumes, candy.
But these stories, they really show how that line, the fun line, can get blurred fast. Sometimes it tips over into something genuinely unnerving. Or worse.
Definitely. So today we're not so much analyzing data as we are exploring these three specific encounters. We want to walk through what happened.
And maybe try to understand why these moments felt so incredibly scary to the people involved. What makes a creepy story stick with you?
Let's get right into the first one. Okay, so this account comes from someone thinking back to when they were 18, Halloween night. They and their friend, Derek, called themselves thrill seekers.
Right. So they were actively looking for something scary, setting out with that intention.
Yeah, which kind of sets the stage, doesn't it? Maybe it makes you less ready for real fear.
The uncontrolled kind, yeah.
Their plan was to check out an abandoned restaurant. Not ancient or anything, just shut down maybe 3-4 years.
But at night, broken windows, trash everywhere, it takes on a different vibe.
Oh, totally. Looks much creepier. They saw a small bike leaning outside, which felt a bit weird. Like maybe just one person inside.
An odd detail.
Front door's locked, so they go around the side and find a door open, straight into the kitchen.
And finding that way in, when it should be locked, that's your first real uh-oh moment. It means someone's been there, maybe is there.
For sure. The kitchen is trashed. Bottles, cans, then a back room, graffiti, dirty furniture. Clearly a hangout spot for someone.
Okay.
They're only inside a few minutes, just looking around when they hear it, a sound.
Not a visual yet, just a sound. Often more unsettling.
Yeah, described as a kind of like a small can rolling on the ground or something, coming from the front part of the restaurant.
Right. Ambiguous.
They just froze, looked at each other, a bit startled, but also, this is what they came for, right?
Yeah.
Little scare.
The expected thrill.
They waited. Silence. Nothing else for like a minute.
That's silence after a noise. It can be worse than the noise itself. Your mind starts racing.
So our storyteller leads the way towards the main dining room doors. Tries to be quiet opening them, but old doors, they make noise.
Always.
Derek follows them in, and almost right away they see a can on the floor across the room.
So the sound was real.
Yeah.
Validation. Makes whatever comes next feel even more real.
The dining room itself is just wrecked. Tables overturned, broken chairs. It's an L-shaped room, so they move deeper in, and then they hear something else. Different.
Okay.
Very soft. Breathing.
Oh, that's different. Instantly chilling. No ambiguity there. It's human.
They take a couple more steps, look around the corner, and just stop dead. There's an old man sitting in a chair in the back of the room, just staring at the floor, not moving at all, just breathing softly.
Wow. Not what you expect. Not threatening, not hiding, just being there. That's almost worse.
Why is that, do you think? The lack of reaction.
It's the uncanny nature of it. It violates how we expect people to behave. He doesn't react to them. He's completely passive. That lack of understandable intent, it's deeply unsettling. It's not normal human behavior in that context.
Makes sense. Their reaction was just pure panic. Derek grabs the storyteller. They just bolt, run back to the car. The storyteller is too shaken up to even drive.
They found the thrill they were looking for, but it wasn't the fun kind. It was real, inexplicable fear.
Yeah. And they spend the rest of the night just trying to make sense of it. Who was he? Why was he there?
The unknown.
And the storyteller says years later, just the memory of that guy sitting there, it still genuinely scares them, that unanswered question. Okay, moving to the second story. This one happened much more recently, just last year. The storyteller was 22, living with a roommate, Alex, in a small house.
Right, so this is different, not seeking fear out there, but having fear come to your space, the home.
Oh, exactly. It's Halloween night again, trick-or-treating's done, maybe 9 p.m. They've turned off the lights, put the candy away, settling in for horror movies.
Sounds like a pretty standard, cozy Halloween night.
Totally. But then, while getting snacks, the storyteller thinks they see something move. Outside the sliding glass door to the backyard.
Ah, that first little flicker of doubt. Easy to dismiss, right? Especially on Halloween.
Yeah, they got startled, checked the door, it was locked, saw nothing, figured they were just jumpy from the movies or something.
Rationalizing it away. Normal response.
But then, a few moments later, they both hear it. A clear thud from the backyard.
Okay, now it's auditory too, and shared. Harder to ignore.
They check again, turn on the porch light, nothing there. Small yard, fenced in. They figure, okay, maybe a neighbor or a decoration fell. Still trying to rationalize.
Still plausible explanations available, but the unease is probably building.
Then, midway through their movie, Alex goes to the kitchen. And a few seconds later, the storyteller hears him whisper, like genuine fear in his voice.
Dude, someone's here.
Oh, okay. That's the shift.
Alex says he saw a man run past the sliding door outside in their yard.
No more ambiguity. Clear visual. Someone is definitely in their private space. That ramps things up immediately.
The storyteller's creeped out, but still tries to think, okay, maybe it's a prank, a friend messing with them.
Trying to hold on to that rational explanation.
But then the front doorbell rings. Like, moments later.
Whoa. Backdoor activity, now front door.
Yeah.
That's deliberate. It feels targeted, like they're being tested or surrounded.
Yeah. They look through the people. There's a man there, white mask, dark clothing.
A mask. Instant anonymity. Instant creep factor.
And he's holding a pillowcase, like a full one, looks like it's stuffed with candy. But he's just standing there, staring right at the door, not moving.
The stillness again, like the man in the restaurant, but more confrontational. And the pillowcase is just bizarre. It suggests trick-or-treating, but the behavior is all wrong. It makes the ordinary sinister.
Totally. They decide, okay, we're not opening the door, ignore him, hope he goes away.
Sensible choice.
They, wait, check again, he's gone. But he left the pillowcase, just sitting there on the porch.
Left. Okay, that's weird. That feels intentional. Like leaving a calling card or maybe a distraction.
Yeah, they immediately think, this is not right, we need to call the police.
Good call. They've crossed from creepy prank to potential threat.
But as the storyteller goes to grab their phone, they see him again.
Where?
In the backyard. Standing right at the sliding glass door, his mask literally pressed against the glass.
Oh my god, no, that's terrifying. He didn't leave, he circled back. That's predatory. That violates the inside of the house, visually at least.
Complete panic. They both run to the bedroom, lock the door, call 911, shove a dresser in front of the door for good measure.
Barricading themselves in. Last resort.
And moments later, he starts banging on the bedroom window, trying to get in.
Wow. So, physical attempt now. Direct assault on their safe space.
Yeah.
That's sound, banging on glass. That's immediate danger.
Alex pulls back the curtain, makes eye contact basically, and the man just runs off.
Confrontation made him flee that time.
Yeah. Police arrive, maybe 15 minutes later. He's long gone by then. But the pillowcase, still there on the front porch.
What was in it?
An officer checks it out. It's full of leaves and sticks.
Leaves and sticks, wow.
The officer apparently told them later he thought it was a trick. You know, make them think it's a trick-or-treater, maybe get them to open the door.
You're giving him a chance to force his way in? That's calculated. Really chilling.
Yeah. Nothing else happened after that, but that feeling, their home being targeted like that, they felt so unsafe they actually moved out a few months later.
I don't blame him. That kind of violation of your personal space, it sticks with you. It changes how you feel about being home.
Okay, our third and final story for today. This one involves a group of friends at their town's Halloween fair.
Right, a public space, lots of people. Should feel relatively safe.
Yeah, they were just there before planning to go trick-or-treating. Fair's packed, long lines for everything, except the corn maze.
The corn maze.
Yeah.
Designed to be disorienting, right? Plays on that fear of getting lost, not seeing what's around the corner.
Exactly. The storyteller mentions they always feel uneasy in them, lose their sense of direction. Anyway, they go in. It's got props, scarecrows, the usual stuff.
Set in the spooky mood.
After about 10 minutes, they feel like they're just walking in circles, getting kind of bored, actually.
The novelty wears off. Guard might be down a bit.
And at one point, they pass this guy, an older guy, dressed in a full scarecrow costume. He just walks right past them. Doesn't say anything, doesn't try to scare them.
A bit strange for someone in costume at a fair attraction. Usually they interact.
Right, that's what they thought. Then, a few minutes later, they see him again, pass him again.
Okay, that is weird.
Now they're thinking, okay, if he's part of the maze crew, he's not doing a very good job. And also, why is a grown man just wandering around alone in here? It felt off.
Yeah, that mismatch again. Fits the setting visually, but the behavior doesn't fit the context. That ambiguity is unsettling.
After about 10 more minutes, they finally find their way out. Lines are still crazy long, so they just decide, okay, let's ditch the fair, go start trick-or-treating.
Right, moving from the controlled chaos of the fair to the familiar streets of their neighborhood. You'd expect to feel safer.
So they head out, hit maybe 20 houses, having a normal time, until one of the friends just stops, tells everyone to look.
What did they see?
Across the street, standing there, the same guy, in the scarecrow costume, just staring at some random house.
Whoa. Okay, chills. He wasn't part of the maze staff. He's out here, in their neighborhood, still in costume, staring. What's he looking at? It's unnerving.
They knew instantly something was wrong. They skipped a couple of houses, tried to put some distance, but keep going. Just for a couple of minutes, though.
He shows up again.
Yeah, this time he's on their side of the street. And he starts walking towards them.
Oh no. Okay, that changes everything. He's not just a weird presence anymore, he's actively approaching. Intentional movement. That's pursuit.
Primal fear kicks in. They start walking fast, then just break into a run, darting down streets, making turns, trying desperately to lose him, totally freaked out, no idea what he wants.
Pure flight response.
One of the friends live nearby. They decide, let's just run there. Get inside. Be safe.
Makes sense. Seek refuge in a known, secure place.
They get inside, lock the door, figure, okay, we'll just wait here, maybe half an hour, he'll go away. But it's only been like 10 minutes.
Don't tell me.
They hear it, a soft rustling sound. Right outside one of the windows in the room they're all huddled in.
He followed them, found them. The fear came inside with them, essentially. That boundary of safety just dissolved.
Terrified doesn't even cover it. The storyteller creeps over to the window, slowly, pulls the curtain back just a tiny bit.
Oh.
He's right there, just a few feet away from the house, staring right at the window they're looking out of.
Oh, God.
And he's holding something in his hand. Looked like a hammer, or maybe a crowbar.
Armed. Yeah, that confirms it. This isn't just about scaring them. The costume, the following. It was cover for something potentially violent. That's terrifying.
They immediately dial 911, tell them they're being followed by an armed band, call their parents too. It takes maybe 5 minutes for police to get there.
Must have felt like an eternity.
They didn't hear anything else from him. Until the siren got really close, then they heard footsteps running away from the backyard.
He ran when he heard the sirens. Knew what he was doing was wrong, clearly. Calculated.
Police arrive. The friends explain everything. And the officers tell them something interesting.
What's that?
They'd already had multiple calls that night about a guy in a scarecrow costume, harassing people back at the fair.
Wow, so it wasn't just them. He was a known menace that night. That validates their fear completely. They weren't overreacting at all.
Not at all. They ended up staying at the friend's house all night, obviously. Trick-or-treating totally ruined.
Understandable.
But even knowing the police knew about him, that feeling that he was still out there somewhere, maybe watching, that just lingered. That constant unseen threat.
So looking at these three stories together, you've got the abandoned building, the safety of home, the public fair and neighborhood streets. Very different settings.
Yeah, but there's that common thread, right? In every single one, that feeling of safety just gets shattered. An empty place isn't. Your home isn't secure. Your neighborhood isn't safe. The presence of this other person just flips everything.
And crucially, like you said before, the why is missing. The motive is unclear. Who was the old man? What did the masked guy really want with that pillowcase? Why was the scarecrow targeting people and armed?
That ambiguity, it really seems key. We need to understand things, especially threats, when you can't categorize it, when the behavior is just bizarre or silent or pointless seeming.
It leaves you feeling incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because you don't know the rules of the encounter. A robber, you kind of understand the script. These figures, they operate outside that script. It taps into that primal fear of the unknown, the predator you don't understand.
And it clearly sticks with people. These weren't just creepy moments forgotten the next day. They had real, lasting psychological effects, changing how people felt about places, about their own security.
Exactly. It feels personal because it happened to you, in your space, during your normal life. That vulnerability, that sense of being inexplicably targeted, that doesn't just fade away when the person leaves.
These accounts are really powerful reminders, I think. Fear isn't always about a direct, obvious threat. It can be about that uncanny presence, that invasion, that really disturbing lack of answers.
Yeah, it makes you think about how fragile our sense of security in familiar places actually is. How easily it can be disrupted by just one unexplained human presence.
It really does. It leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How does just seeing someone unexpected, someone acting wrong, completely change how you feel about a place you thought you knew? And why do those specific moments, the ones you can't explain away, get lodged so deep in your memory?
A chilling thought to end on.
Indeed. Well, thank you again for providing the source material that let us share these unsettling stories today. And for all of you listening, if you found these accounts as gripping as we did, please do consider giving us a like. Maybe share this with a friend who appreciates a good scare.
And definitely subscribe to the channel, Horror Docs, so you don't miss our future explorations into the things that make us uneasy.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time.